Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Jarrod St. who will fight on Combat FC June 13th. Hello, Jarrod. How are you?
Nice to meet you, Martin. I'm feeling great. I'm ready for my fight next week, and I'm ready to put on a great show.
And probably it's like just the end of your training camp. So if you can tell me overall the time that you've got for the preparation, how was it? Do you think that overall it was a good training camp?
For the most part, yeah. I've had a lot of fights fall through. I've been trying to fight since like February. Just one after another, opponents just fell through. I've been trying to fight for the last Combat FC. That was like early February. Then I was trying to fight for Cage Fury in April and just couldn't find an opponent. So I've been training camp for like four to 5 months now, and I've been feeling great. I'm just rolling with the punches basically, just training the whole time, trying to get somebody, and I finally got one. So I'm excited for this one.
And actually, last year you were super active for like first part of the year because you've got three fights, and then it's almost like a year break. So probably it's like just two different times because one time you are super active, and one it's like no fight for quite a long time.
Yeah, because I ended up getting sick towards the end of last year. I wanted four fights, and I came down with a crazy sickness that I couldn't train, I couldn't fight. Right after my fight in July, and I couldn't train or do anything. So I wanted to hit this year hard and get a ton of fights in, and then just everything just didn't go my way. So yeah, it'll be 11 months I think since my last fight, and hopefully I can get maybe two more fights after this one, but no promises.
And do you think like anything more about your next opponent?
This opponent coming up,
Yes,
or like
yes,
any, he's what are my thoughts on him?
yes.
He's dangerous. He says he likes to fight, so I mean, I think anyone that is willing to scrap is dangerous. They have like nothing to lose. He's got a good wrestling background from what I've seen. Hasn't had the greatest run in bare knuckle, but I mean, it's just a different sport completely. So, anything could happen. He's done really well for himself in MMA. Been a while since he's been in the cage, but I think it'll be a good matchup.
But actually, because last time he fought, it was like 5 years ago. So in the end, he can be like a little bit like a question mark because a lot of things could change in this amount of time.
For sure, yeah. For him to come back at least to fight in bare knuckle. So from there, I know at least he's in shape, so he has been training in some facet, but maybe he hasn't been working on the grappling as much. But I feel like for high school wrestlers and stuff, it doesn't really leave them that well. They keep that wrestling background all throughout their careers.
And would you be interested in going maybe just one time to the BKFC just to try the other sport?
Maybe. I don't know. I think I value my face a little bit too much. If going to bare knuckle would be like 100% chance of getting cut. So I don't know. I like my face too much.
And you actually you were like a champion, amateur champion in Combat FC. And do you think that there can be like a chance to be also a pro champion
Oh,
there?
for sure. Yeah. They love me at Combat FC, so I'm always trying to fight for them. I'd like to have more than three shows a year. I know they've stuck with three for the most part, February, June, and October. I'd like to see if they can get four, but I can't complain. They love me out there, so I try to fight for them as much as I can, and I try to get fights for them, try to show up as best I can. So
And we are around a week to your fight, and sometimes it's not the best time for the fighter because he's cutting weight, got maybe some other issue. And do you like this like last 7 days?
like, how do I feel in these last seven
Yes, yes.
days?
Do you like this time?
Honestly, no, I really don't. I at least because this last week for me, I'm usually where I feel like my body breaks down a little bit. So that's where like this week is where most injuries would occur. This time I've gotten lucky. Um, but I feel like I need to really take it back or like adjust my training camps from right before the week of weight cutting. I feel like I need to adjust something in there because I feel like if I overtrain like that week, my body will get injured. And I've gotten lucky, thankfully, this time around. So going forward, I think I'm going to change my training camp up a little bit and then just make sure it's a smooth sailing to the fight.
And did you ever have any problems with like weight cutting or just making the weight limit?
No, I've made weight every fight I've fought. I haven't had a single catch weight out of every amateur and professional fight. I've always made 155. Um, I haven't, yeah, I don't think I've ever done a catch weight at all. And I know I used to cut weight differently when I was an earlier amateur. I used to diet pretty strictly and then just lose like a little bit of water. But now I usually do a full water load and lose a good amount of water for the weight cut. But just things change, and I've made weight every time. So I'm assuming this time around, I do feel a little bit a little bit nervous being away from the cage for so long, being like it'll be 11 months now. So maybe there's a little bit of nerves, but I think having my fully recovered body will should be easier to make the weight. So I'm not really worried about it.
Do you have any kind of like pre-fight rituals? So maybe you like to do something before every fight?
Not really. I mean, I just try to rest as much as I can. I don't really go out and well, actually, it depends. Sometimes me and my coaches, we'll go out and watch a movie. I guess the night after the weigh-in. So that night we might go catch a movie or something like that. I wouldn't say it's something like that has to happen, but like it's just something we usually do sometimes.
And if you can tell me more about your beginnings in the sport, because like watching your fights, you are a good striker. You have also a good submission game. So did you have any like other background before you started like your full MMA journey?
Um, Not really. I started pretty young, so I was more just kind of getting like the basics of everything just growing up, just like positional stuff. So like knee on belly, just all the basic jujitsu positions and just learning a good fundamental background when it came to striking. I'd like to think that translated well when I switched gyms to Nostos. So it just made things a little bit easier to just to tweak a little bit of things, and it just made the world of difference once I. But to answer your question a little bit more bluntly, I just had a little bit of a good amount of jujitsu experience growing up and a decent amount of Muay Thai, so I was pretty well rounded.
And if you can tell me more about Nostos MMA, because it's I think that is like a really good gym with some sneaky good prospects. So if you can tell me a little bit more also about the coaches that you have there.
Yes, so we have Coach Devin Powell, our head coach from Nostos MMA. He does a lot of our jiu-jitsu classes, works with all of our fighters and strikers, or works with all of our fighters. Our other head striking coach is Nick Miles. He's a wizard with a mind, and he knows all of his breaks down opponents and stuff like just like crazy. Super in depth, and his mindset for the game is awesome. We have another coach who recently started helping full time, Jamie Sprague. He's going to be in my corner. Um, he's kind of been on and off as a coach. He's been there since the beginning with Devin Powell when he was in the UFC. So he's a great mind. He'll be in my corner for this fight. My wrestling coach, Ross Donner, great athlete, great coworker. I work with him in landscaping, and he's a great guy to be around. So he's also in my corner for this fight. Um, there's tons of other coaches that do jujitsu and stuff for other classes and whatnot. I can't even name them. There's so many at this point. We have a lot of great training partners as well. We just opened up a new facility, which is massive. It's huge. We have a great community as well. So we have so many good things for the gym right now, and it's great to see that we got a brand new facility, so we have a lot more space for fighters and stuff. And we're not all fighting in a tiny closet space to strike and get our sparring rounds in. So it feels great.
And like training under a UFC veteran is probably like really important thing because this kind of experience that being in the like UFC octagon, fighting with like some of the best fighters possible. So it's probably really good thing to have this kind of experience of your coach.
Absolutely, yeah. He knows what it takes to get there, and he wants to push us as hard as we can to so we know what it's like. So when we get there, we'll be ready. So he's constantly pushing us. He wants the best for his athletes, and he wants to make sure we succeed. by the time we get there. So even at the local scene, we're making sure we're pushing harder, if not past the other competition. And then by the time we get to the big scene, that we will excel and show that we're able to hang with the other UFC fighters.
And right now, of course, you had a really good amateur career with few belts. You are undefeated right now as the pro, so you definitely also have a good experience. But in your opinion, what is the maybe one thing that MMA fans did not like appreciate in this game, and you as the fighter know that it should be appreciated?
Um, I feel like when I fight, I don't really I throw a lot of like basic stuff to a degree. I don't really get too creative, I feel like, with my striking, even though I know more. I have a good jiu-jitsu game what I feel like I don't utilize a lot. I feel like a lot of people would assume I'm very one-dimensional, and that's not true. I have a great I'm very well-rounded, but I just don't show that a lot in my game. So I get very um focused and kind of just very I kind of like tunnel vision a little bit, if that makes sense. Just doing very basic and fundamental stuff when I fight, but people won't understand, I guess, that I have a pretty diverse game.
But you definitely like are able to deliver these finishes because you have like knockout submissions. So definitely you are not like the fighter who is not exciting to watch.
Absolutely, yeah.
And in around also a week, it will be like the same. Actually, the same weekend there will be like a big UFC card with Ilia Topuria against Justin Gaethje. And in this fight, what do you think will happen?
I think a lot of people are counting out Justin Gaethje, just because of how the star that Ilia Topuria is and how well he's able to perform. Like when he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it, which it makes him really hard to bet against. So I still think Ilia will get the job done. I think he will retain his title, and I think Ilia will finish Justin Gaethje.
But just this kind of confidence is kind of crazy. It's like similar to Conor McGregor over 10 years ago, and Ilya like celebrated the win before the fight, or like do some other crazy things. So I think that also this kind of confidence is like really tough to beat. Of course, like in the case of Conor, in the end he was defeated, but right now it's like really cool to watch this kind of making of the history of Ilya.
Yes, yeah, it's hard to replicate that. It's hard to emulate that. Sorry, but it's hard to find those one in a lifetime type of athletes and people that just believe in themselves 100%, where they say they're going to do something, they literally go out and do it. Even months before he said he was going to finish Volkanovski, and he did, and he said he was, I think it was like 16-0 or 17-0, whatever his record was before the fight even happened, and he went out and did it. So it's hard to find people like that, and it's hard to believe in yourself as much as someone like that would.
And overall, who is your favorite fighter to watch?
Prime Charles Oliveira was an awesome fighter to watch. I love watching him fight all the time. That was probably my number one easily.
And also his like career is can be like super inspiring one, because at one point he was really good fighter, but maybe not on the championship level. But after so many fights, he became a champion and probably one of the best lightweights in the history of the sport.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he turned a corner, decided to win. I think it was like eight or so fights, got a title, and then defended three times in a year. Um, and then eventually he fought Gaethje, where he was stripped of the title, and then just unfortunately lost to Islam. But now he's still able to hang up there with the other great fighters in the lightweight division. But I think he's still a great athlete.
And getting back to your career, because of course, like MMA training is stuff, fighting in MMA is stuff. And what motivates you to do all of this stuff?
For me, when I first started fighting, it was like I've been training for so long. I started when I was 10, and I was like, I wonder how good I could be. So I was always, once I started fighting, I was like, in my first fight, I was like, whoa, I love this. And then after that, I just kind of wanted to see how good I could get. Because I never originally wanted to go pro until I made it to Nostos, and I was like, wow, I have two titles now. Like, what do I do from here? And they were like, you go pro, and I was like, I guess I could. I didn't really. I only originally wanted just like amateur titles, and once I made it as a professional, um, I was just like, okay, let's just see how far I can go with it. It's one of those sports you can't really do it when you're older, so I might as well just run with it now, and then I don't know, work the rest of my life when I'm older. So I got it. The time is now.
And about your next fight, what would be like perfect scenario?
I finish this guy in well, emphatic fashion, have the crowd yelling my name. Um, I get out with no injuries, and then maybe I get another fight in a few months or so. Being super hopeful, but in the fight game and knowing me as a professional, I've gotten cut like three. I haven't gotten cut as like an amateur. I got cut like I think one fight as an amateur out of seven, and then as soon as I went pro, I started getting my face cut up really bad left and right. So perfect scenario. I knock him out early. I don't get hurt at all, and I don't have any cuts, so I can take another fight pretty soon. So that would be best case scenario.
Okay, Jarrod, so many thanks for the time and for conversation. Finger crossed for this, so quick win and no injuries. And I hope that you will be as active as the in the first part of last year.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely.